Hi, welcome to my cloud-based submission for challenge 3045, which was to create an early stage opportunity trigger. So let's go into the setup for this. So the first thing you'll need to do is install the unmanaged package that's supplied with my submission to this challenge. Once you've done that, you'll need to create some custom settings. So let's go to those. So after the import of the unmatched package, you should have this early stage match criteria. So if you manage those, you need to set them up as I have here, so with 4 records, and this corresponds to the criteria that was listed on the challenge, which was to match on first name, last name, company and email. So we've got the contact field and the corresponding lead field, which is fairly self-explanatory. And then we also have this field called primary. So what the primary does is it indicates which one out of this entire set of fields should be used to query the contact object. So for the one I've got selected here is email, so it will retrieve all contacts with the matching email, and then it will once it's retrieved those records, it will then filter on the additional criteria of first name, last name, and account name. Email, the field that's selected as primary should therefore be selective, or should be very selective, and it should also be indexed. So email is a good candidate for this in that if you provide an email, it's highly likely that you'll retrieve one or just a few contacts to scan over. It's also indexed because it's an external ID field, so it's a good option for this primary field. The next thing you'll need to do, and you might already have done in your target environment, is the challenge mentions some values that needed to be added on opportunity. So, for instance, on opportunity stage, I've added the stage name validate corresponding to the default that was specified in the challenge for the opportunities. Also on contact role, new role called champion. Again, this was the default that was specified for the opportunity contact roles that were created during the conversion process. So let's see this in action. So let's go to the lead screen, create a new lead. So put some values here. So this person, Thomas Ward, absolutely zero and limited. They are an account and contact that I've already set up. Lead source, we'll set it to web, and we've got this product family of interest, which is specified on the challenge as a new field that needed to be added. And set the email, and this last field I've added is one of my own. So early stage opportunity conversion. What this field does is basically a status, so you can indicate whether the lead should not be put through the conversion process, whether it should, which is required pending, whether it's already gone through the conversion process but contacts couldn't be identified and subsequently no opportunity was created, that's required, not converted. And then required converted is if it's gone through the conversion process, an opportunity was created because a contact match was found. So I thought this would be useful for a number of reasons. First of all, it allows you to track how a lead has gone through the conversion process, so particularly if it's not been converted, you'll be able to find all those leads. And also, when a lead is converted, this required converted status will be used as the criteria for a scheduled batch job, which will delete, essentially cleaning up any leads that have been converted. So we'll set this to required pending, and we'll save this. And as you can see, the early stage opportunity conversion has already gone to required converted. If we go to the opportunity screen and list all opportunities, you can see here that it's created the opportunity. So it's covered across the product family. See there it's lead source web, the account account is set, the opportunity name is set as per the spec on the challenge, and we have a contact role. So it's added the contact on and given them the role of champion and set them to primary again as per the challenge. So that's it working in sort of single record mode. We can also run a batch against it. So to give an example of that, I'm going to use curl. I've already set up some contacts and account for this. So what I'm going to do now is create some leads. So create a job ready to go on this. So let's create that. The ID. CSV file, so there's basically 500 leads in this CSV. Let's close off the job. So go back to Salesforce. Sure this job's finished. Great. Insert. Records processed. 500. So I'll quick click on the lead screen. Go. And right down the bottom here, you can see the start of the list. Basically, just it's contact sort of 1 through 500, corresponding to a lead 1 through 500. So now that we've created the leads, and for instance, we go into one of these, you can see that it's got a required pending state, but because it has a lead source of other, the trigger hasn't picked it up. So what we're going to have to do is launch a scheduled batch job to process these. So let's go into 12 console, anonymous window, the code that I want to run here. So basically this is the same code that's in the scheduled job, basically creates a batch job to process these leads. So execute that. I'll just wait for that to complete. Okay, so that's now completed. Hopefully if we go to the opportunity screen, go, as you can see there's now 500 new opportunities corresponding to those leads that are created. Now obviously those leads are still all there. If we take a look at them, they should have a status of required converted. So next thing to do is run the delete job over those. Yeah, I've got a code ready here to run the batch. Execute anonymous window. Let's run that one. Again, let's wait to see when that's completed. Okay, it's completed now. So if we go back to the leads, all open leads, we can see that all those leads that I've created have now disappeared. The corresponding opportunities have been created. So let's take a look at the code for this. So there's a number of classes that I've created. Let's start with the trigger. So before insert, it basically does a conversion of the leads, and the leads that it passes in, it filters out any leads that aren't which don't have a lead source of web. So it basically applies the conversion process just to web leads as per the challenge spec. So let's open the next class, which is the early stage opportunity. Got a few constants at the top, so again there's a few that are worth a note. So the default opportunity stage validates, default opportunity contact role champion. Close date is also a mandatory field, so I've just arbitrarily selected it to 1 month in the future for any opportunities that are created. You obviously customise that to what you want. We've got constants corresponding to the statuses for the early stage opportunity conversion, and we've also got a couple of constants relating to web and other, which are just basically used in the test classes to set up the test data. Convert leads. So what happens is we filter out any leads that don't have a conversion status of required pending. If we've still got some records left, then get a list of primary field values for the lead. So I mentioned this earlier when we were creating the custom settings. So if email is the primary field, then it's going to scan across all the leads, retrieve a set of the primary field values, so deduplicate them. It'll then locate the contacts using these primary field values. So we'll perform a query. Let's just quickly jump to that actually. So get contacts, it passes in the set of primary field values. So in this case it's going to be a list of email addresses. It's going to query for those contacts using the primary field values and populate the map. So if we go to the bit where it queries now, contact query. So basically what it does here is it builds up a dynamic SQL query using the early stage match criteria custom settings. So it basically adds in each field into the select statement, and it uses the primary field as the where clause and provides primary field values as an in statement. Returns that. So let's jump back up to get contacts. So it then builds a two-dimensional array. So the primary field value is the key for the map, and then the object that we put into a map is a list of contacts that match that primary field value. So for instance, if the primary field value is an email address, it is possible that 0 or more contacts could be returned on that email address. So we add each contact that's returned into this list object for that primary field value, and then return that entire map back to the calling function convert leads. We then work over the filtered leads, make sure that they have a lead status of pending, and that we can find a contacts with the primary field value in the map that we queried earlier. So first of all, we're matching, in this case, on email address. If we manage to match on email address, then we'll try and match the other fields as well, which is what this contact find match does. So we scan out to the bottom, find match, there we go. So it passes in a list of contacts, so that's the eligible contacts. So as I said, particularly with email address, it's possible that 0 or more contacts could be returned. So across that, these eligible contacts, we're going to try and find a more precise match. So through each of the early stage match criteria, so that's first name, last name, email, and account name, we will try and match each of these, and if we match all of them, then we'll return the matched contact record. and if we can't, then we'll return null. Go to the top. Assuming we did return a contact record, so if it's not null, then we'll create the opportunity. We'll create the opportunity contact role, and we'll make a note of which opportunity corresponds to which lead. That's important because once you've verified that the opportunity has been created successfully, we update the lead early stage opportunity conversion status to required converted. If we couldn't find a match, then we say lead not converted. If we couldn't match a contact using primary field value, we also put its lead not converted. We insert the opportunities, as I said earlier. We then work across those save results to set the opportunity contact role, opportunity ID, and we also set the lead to lead converted. We insert all of those, and we return the leads. The reason we return the leads, so in the case of when the trigger runs this code, any modifications to the leads that are passed in will automatically get saved to the database. But if we call this from a batch context, then they won't. So we need to return these leads to the batch so that it can then update the leads in the database. So that's a very quick run through of that class. What other classes have we got? So we've got the early opportunity batchable. So that basically just wraps up that early stage opportunity convert leads method. And as I mentioned a moment ago, when the leads come out, it also updates those leads. So if any of them can be converted, not converted, then it saves those changes to the database. Next, early stage opportunities schedulable. So this wraps up the batchable class and allows you to schedule it. For deletes, we've basically got the same thing. So we've got deletes batchable, which basically just deletes leads when given a query. And we've got deletes lead schedulable, which basically wraps that batch process up and tells it to delete leads that have a conversion status of lead converted. As you'd expect, we've then got a load of test classes as well to cover all of this. I'll allow you to have a look through those, but we've got a series of negative tests, single trigger test, bolt trigger test, schedule test, batch test, and schedule delete test, and batch delete test. It's pretty comprehensive code coverage. It's about 98%. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to mention for this challenge. I don't think so. I'll wrap up some of the CSV files I used for testing the bulk API in my submission, so you can reuse those if you want. But otherwise, hope you like my submission, and thanks for listening.